couple of years supplying, and we've been splitting it. We split up this bit here, and I just felt to put up a video on some of the things we've learned about splitting wood for those who are learning. One of the first big tips is get it to a workable height that really works for you, and also to get good tools. The main splitter that we're using, and actually here it's been called a maul, is this guy here. It's got this shape on the side which is really interesting, so when the splitter sinks in a lot it then splits the wood a lot wider. That's an excellent design. Good handle for absorbing shocks. You see that maul's only on one side and it's a bit of a small angle, and that's the favourite, the good splitter that we use. There's another one over here, and this is, I don't know what you call it, I think it's a Neanderthal splitter. It's got a triangle head on it, and it's heavy as, it's just got a steel pole as the handle, so it's not that great on your hands, but it's really heavy. Like seriously, that's probably 6 or 7 kilos. So when it comes down with momentum, it really whacks a punch. But again, it's all about being smart when it comes to chopping wood, because you can pound away and not get somewhere. So having the right tools is really good. A good splitter, I wouldn't recommend one like that, particularly to start with. One more like what I started with. But then also a sledgehammer and wedges are really important. So this wood here, you see that is not by any stretch sharp either. But there's 2 of us working, and I've ended up with this tool, so that's all I've got. What I've been doing is actually giving this a big whack to start with, and then putting a wedge in and splitting it. But this one's actually got a bit of a crack. You can see here, definitely when you're looking at your wood, look for wood that's got a crack. If you have a look here, again, you see there's a crack across here. So if you hit that, it's more likely, much more likely to split and come apart in that point. And normally if you hit a log like that, these are pine, so they're actually quite good to split, and some of them are splitting pretty spectacularly. But when you hit them, you can just hit them full on and get them to split apart. But in Australia, we're in California again here at the moment, splitting this firewood for a friend. But in Australia, we cut a lot of red gum, and it's much tougher. So there's no way you would ever be trying to split a stump that big. I'll put that beside my leg. You see it's sort of heading up towards my knee. So you'd never try and split something that long, whereas here you can. And again, with red gum, if it's too big and you can't split it across, what you can do is bring the splitter down on the rings, and it'll pop off sections of rings until it gets small enough, and then you can split it through the middle. So there's a few tips in that. So I'll get someone else here to hold the camera, and I'll have a swing of this here. And as I said, rather than knocking it through with this splitter, I've also been using the hammer and the wedge, so I'll show you how that works as well. So when you're swinging one of these guys, you'll notice it's actually it comes down in a circle. So you want to get yourself in a position where the most power is coming down and you work to a height that you want. Now, really important that you don't, if you miss, you don't want to come back and hit your shins. So you get yourself in a situation so that your force is coming down and you've got your legs far enough apart so you're not going to whack your feet or your shins, because that's no good. And also keep the area clean so it's safe from where you stand. So this is too big to split in one hit, but we'll see what happens. So if you come in close, you'll see there's a couple of splits, one here and one here, and this head is embedded really deep in. There's a couple of things we can do. We can just get the sledgehammer and knock the wedge in further. Well, I'll do that, and I'll do both methods. But that's really too wide. So I'll take this out and put the wedge in. Have a look at the angle of the wedge compared to the angle of the hammer. There's a massive difference, and the wedge is going to go in and split, whereas this is trying to do too much too early. So we'll sit the wedge into that hole, and rather than bang 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 repeatedly, it's just a lot smarter and a lot less effort this. And then this is just a little sledgehammer, but you can knock it in like that. And if the wedge gets stuck, you really need two of these to work side by side. I'm going to cheat and just put that back in the top again. You probably split it by hand. There you go. But what we could have also done is just sat it on the top and hit it on top again. So there's one out. And now that it's lost its strength, let's see what happens when we hit it again. Okay, there's one. And you can really give this, because of the weight, really heavy head, you can really give it to it. Not quite small enough now. I'll try for a ring split. You see here, here's the center of the wood. So rather than splitting it from the center, I'm going to try and use the rings to split it off that way. So I'm going to set it here and hit it just off the center. As I said, this is not the best splitter, but it's the one I've got. And that'll do me. This is the splitter or maul I'm going to use now. You see it's much narrower. So I'll work with this and see the difference on it. It's a much lighter head. It's probably half the weight of that other big triangle thing. But it's a better unit and I would prefer to use it. It's a lot easier to be accurate with it. Just give this one. That'll do. Here's one my son's been working on. He's been faithfully belting away at the top of there, as you can see, and this is just a tough old stump. It's a bit green. So he's very wisely moved over to the splitter. You see it's now opening up a big old crack there. So give it a whack again. So he's working away with the... Ooh, listen to that. Go again. Hear the wood cracking, it's coming apart. Ooh, yep, keep going, looking good. Nice one. So now he's going to go and get the other wedge. So here we go, we've got another wedge in. So he's going to keep on going. And this... As I said, it's a tough log. It should have blown apart by now, but he's picked a toughie and he's going to stick with it and get it done. This is a really good example because you do get stumps that just won't split. So now we've got the big Neanderthal triangle in the top. Now we're going to whack that in and this will split it. So minimum of 2 wedges. It's just too easy when you're working with tough wood to just have one wedge. You see how strong that is? Have a look down there. Again, it's a big part because of that knot, that branch that's there. It's splitting right the way through, but still tough as nails. So keep going. There we go. Now it's broken away. So we've gotten through. And now, because of the circle on the top, you see he split a bit off here and he split a bit. So now to split it this way, it's got nowhere near the tensile strength to hold it together. And the big reason for the toughness here is because of that branch. When you get a branch coming out, they're way tougher. So we've done that big chunk off. Now we've gone back to the good splitter, and we're going to give this a go and see if we can't split him. We're just going to hit him right in the middle and see how it comes out. That's going to take a bit of work. Okay, here we go. Got another new stump. Again, I've got it up at a height that works for me. You can see over here for my son, he's got a lower stand, but again, getting it off the springy ground will put a lot more force into your blows as you come down. And he wants to work away at that one, so that's excellent. I'm going to let him do that. And this guy, I'm just going to hit it. I've lost my cameraman, so I'm just going to hit it and I'll show you how I go. But there is a crack, if you look closely, and even the little cracks matter as to when this separates. So I'll hit it, I'm going to get a just a hole to start with. I'm going to drive the wedge into it, because these are proven too much work, and I'm certainly wanting to head towards the least amount of work. So there we go, gave it one whack with the splitter, and it gave a bit of a crack, and because I'm swinging down so hard, I've missed the centre. But what I'm going to do, I've just sat a wedge into it, and then I'm going to drive the wedge in. Left-handed hammering, here we go. I'm going to switch that hand. Something very important here. You see how the wedge is bending away from where I want it. So if I come this side and bring my hammer swing so that the arc is coming in and hitting there, that will stop that from going the wrong way. Hear that noise? That's what you want to hear. Hear it starting to crack and go down the side like that. And then when you get to there, what I've been doing, as I said, you can either put another wedge in here, but that's already pretty wide open, so I'm actually going to use Ron's big splitter. Just sit it in, and then I'm going to give that a hit. Can you come and hit this for me with the sledgehammer? The sledgehammer is over the back there, and give that everything you got for me. That's it. Rip the barks off. There we go, and that section's off. And you know, if you do miss the centre and you're a bit off centre, you're still going to weaken it hugely by taking that great big chunk out, so that's fine. Now I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to aim for the centre again, but as you can see, all of this chunk of wood here is now gone, so its ability to hold together is so much less. So I'll get the big splitter again, and we'll see how. So here we go. I'm happy with that one from a bullseye point of view. That was a better swing. And I've given it a good old crack. So again, I'm going to pull the splitter out, a big Neanderthal tool out, and I'm going to drive a wedge into there, and we'll split it right in half. Okay, so here we go, the wedge is in, right into the middle of this. Got camera in left hand, sledgehammer, or whatever you want to call this, in my right hand. So this doesn't take a lot of effort, I'm just one-handed flopping this down, hearing it crack. Now I can bang, bang, bang with a splitter, but once you've got it open, it really is easy with a wedge, just to drive it in like that. And again, this one's jamming. I may be able to just pull that apart. Let's see. Yep, I can just do the Incredible Hulk thing and pull that guy apart. And we're down. Now, that's probably small enough to go in the fire and burn, but we're wanting to be a blessing here and split some wood for someone that we're staying with, so I know the smaller stuff is more of a blessing. Well, there's more work, so I'll chop this one in half again, and then that one in half, and that one in half, and we'll be looking good. Alright, so I've got a really big log this time, and my attack is going to be exactly the same. Like, how big is that log? It's that big. If I put my palm and hand on the edge of it, a couple of palms across and down there. She's pretty big. It's sitting up on the stump and dwarfing the underneath stub. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to go to try and split it in half to start with, just to break it into smaller bits. There's a nice big crack here, so I'm going to work with that. So first of all, I'm going to be hitting down here, and then using the hammers and the wedges. So if you've got a lot of wood to split, there is no doubt that having a hammer, a decent size, a mash hammer or a sledgehammer, short handle sledgehammer, and wedges is going to make this job a whole lot easier. Of course, you can also go to the hardware shop, be it Hardware Freight in America or wherever, and just buy a little electric or petrol powered wood splitter, the sort of thing that goes on a trailer and just will do all this for you. But the purpose of this video is someone who's just got a splitter, or even with an axe, and is wanting to split the wood. So I'm going to hit this guy in the middle and let you watch as I split it up. A couple of swings, and I'm not having a big effect at all, so I could pound away on that. That's the big triangular shaped hammer. I could bang away on that all day and not have an effect. So what I'm going to do again is knock it open with these wedges. So I'm going to, actually the other one's a little bit wider. I'm going to grab the other wedge and I'll start knocking it down and see if we can't get it to crack right the way across. So here we go, I've started on it, pounded it in quite a way, and at this point it's just a couple of little cracks coming off the back here and here, but nothing through here. So we'll keep on going and see what sort of impression we can get. Right, I've driven that a lot further in, and you see here we've now got a crack coming out this side, and this guy here is opening up, and so is that one. I don't know which one of those is actually going to let go, but I've also just started to hear the first of the crackling going on, that the wood is starting to split itself. So I'll keep driving that in. It's gotten really tight, so it's such a big stump, but we'll keep on going and show you as it goes. Okay, 3 more hits, and that's really opening up now, and across there you can see which ones. Well, again, we've got a crack out here, but it's this one which has decided to open up, and here, and this has started to loosen up a bit. It's going in a little bit easier, so I'll see how I go one-handed. I've been whacking it, but we'll see if I can still get it to go down one-handed. Can you hear that? That's the wood, the fibres splitting open and coming apart and cracking. Sounds a bit like a crackling fire, doesn't it? So that's the end for that wedge. We'll now get another one, pick the narrowest spot, and put the other wedge in order to open it up a bit more. Okay, so I've had a bit of a look around, and that other wedge is under that wood somewhere, so I couldn't be bothered finding it just right now. We'll find that when we load the wheelbarrow up and start carrying this inside. So something a little bit more unorthodox, that's a bit more Mark's reviews and tutorials. You see at the top I've got this bit of wood that's nice and narrow at the bottom and a bit thicker at the top. So I just wanted to show you that you can actually use that as a wedge and drive it in. Now this is a huge log and a lot of tension. I don't know if it'll do the job or not, but let's find out together what's going to happen. Hey, you can knock him in. Improvised tools actually use another bit of wood lying around as the wedge. And as you can see, it's done a great job. Not enough, we haven't split it yet, but it's done a great job. I think I will get the, I don't know if I can have enough hands to do all this, but we'll get this big guy and whack him down and get this log in half. Okay, so to see the width of this is definitely going to get it in half. Oh, but she's pretty tough. So, get that out. I'm going to bring this in, sit it in here, and see if I can't run it down this side. This is a stubborn one. Alright, that's looking good. Let's see. Bark off him. I'm going to give him a whack on the ground now. He's upside down now. This is the other side. So it's just a matter of getting the little fibres out now. There we go. Clean that up, and then we get to play a bit of field hockey. There we go, she's in half. So So now the rest of it will split up nice and easy. So we're going to see how this one goes. This is the guy, there's the other half down here. Now that it's in half, you saw how much effort it took to split it. I'm just going to give this a couple of hits and see now that it's only half the size, how tough it is. Oh, yeah, she's going to be tough. Yeah, I'll give it one more hit, but it's going to need work with the splitter again. Oh, here we go. So if you can get it to that point, obviously, let's see. Try the shortcut method with the big angle. There it goes. There we go. A lot less effort than the first time around. So a very important thing that pretty much goes without saying is safety glasses, because when you're hitting metal on metal, you can get bits of metal falling off and getting in the way, like something getting in the way there. You can see how bent and moved this metal gets, and you can get bits of metal flying off when you're hitting it with the sledgehammer. So at that point, most definitely you wear safety glasses and covered shoes, strong covered shoes, and something over your legs. I wouldn't do this in shorts because there's often bits flying around, flying off, bits of wood. There's been a couple of times I've been splitting here, and there's a couple of times bits of wood have actually flown over there to the road, particularly with that big triangle one with the big head on it. So very important, safety glasses when you're hitting metal on metal. I also wear them when I'm chopping the other time because there are bits of wood flying off as well. So there you go. And the stance, you should always, if the block of wood is right in front of you, you open up your stance like this, so that as you swing, as you bring the axe down, if you happen to miss, you're going to come down between your legs. You do not want to be standing here with your legs here, so the momentum of the swing could ever possibly get you. So whether it's comfortable or not, learn to cut with your legs apart, so that if you do miss, or if the hammer comes down and goes straight through a piece of wood, then it's not going to hit you. Okay, thanks. There's one, and if I hit it, I'm good enough to hit it in the middle again, that should go right through. Here is the stash inside, and there's quite a bit of wood in here, some split, some not, but obviously all in here it's dry. There's another point to split in here, and we've been working on this pile here, and if you look up there how tall that is, that's, I don't know, it's getting up towards 10 feet and over. And look over, if you can see where the back wall is back there, it's a long way back. There's a lot of wood in here. So I'm going to set these guys up. Really good for the winter, long term. There's a massive great big one down there. But again, when they're that old, that's been there for, I don't know, 5 years or something, that'll split really easy. So it's just so tender and dry. Okay, where's that log? Bring it down. We have been stacking it from the front, but you can chuck them from heights as well.